Shamanism really means exploring consciousness, exploring the other dimensions in a way that is protected and safe, and uses a guide who knows how to guide you through these other realms of consciousness. So depending on your terminology, you might think of it as other dimensions. If you're more psychologically based, it's simply exploring your subconscious, but it's doing it in a way that is guided and protected and allows you to confront whatever it is that has been buried in there that you need to access, but maybe you've covered it up because it's a little bit scary to confront that on your own. So a good shaman will guide you through what's called a journey. And a journey is simply a matter of exploring your consciousness using visualization. Usually it's exploring through a physical visualization of the world, whether it's our earth, or sometimes it's known the underworld if you're going into more the shadows of the subconscious, and sometimes it's the above world, the stars, the angelic realms. And no matter which realm you're choosing to explore, it's about exploring you. It's about exploring what is it that you are trying to overcome or find, or gifts that you are meant to be given. And once you find this, the good shaman will help you receive this gift, know yourself better, and take that gift back into your everyday life in a practical way that you can actually use. So good shamanism is actually quite practical. I think a lot of people think of shamanism as maybe woo-woo or out there, but one of the main tenets of shamanism, the Hawaiian shamanism that I practice, is that efficacy is a measure of truth. It has to work, and it has to have practical results in your life. And as you take the principles from your journey back with you, it will change your life.
We live in a world that has so many layers.
Mm-hmm.
Layers above, the layers below. Can you talk a little bit about that?
In the shamanistic world, there are different dimensions, different layers of our consciousness, so to speak. So there's the upper world, which is the layer of the stars and the angels and the higher dimensions where everything is very light and beautiful. This is where a lot of people want to explore their consciousness because it's so loving and supportive. Then there's what's called the middle world, and that's very much like our Earth. And this is where people often have animal guides or meet other people. They can be either passed away or still living, have interactions with people that are very healing. Then there's the underworld, and this is where we really get to explore what's buried in our subconscious, what's known as the shadow. This is sometimes difficult work because no one really wants to go into the shadow, but it's very important because the shadow is often where we have some of the deepest blockages that may be affecting our life in ways that once we can face them and overcome our shadow, all of a sudden our life really gets a chance to transform.
Beautiful. So is the shadow a reflection of my choices in life? Is it a reflection of my past lives? What is the shadow?
The shadow is usually a collection of our subconscious, and that can come from past lives. That can also come from this lifetime, but memories that we've kind of buried because they're maybe something we don't want to face, or we're just too young to simply process what's happened in an adult way. So we save these memories until we're older and we have a better ability to kind of cope with them, so to speak. It is a reservoir of our karma. Our entire soul's history is stored in the shadow side, and it's really the part of us that we don't always like to face. We all have light and dark within us, and most of us want to pretend that it's only light and it's only love. And yes, that is our core being, is light and love, but as humans, we also have ego and we also have shadow, and it's facing that so that it can be integrated. It's not about denying it or pretending that it doesn't exist. Once we can love it embracingly within ourselves, that's when it can be integrated in a safe way, and that's when we become more whole. So a shamanistic session is a journey through consciousness, and you go into a meditative state, very relaxed. This allows your consciousness to be free to explore these different realms, different dimensions, however you want to phrase it. This is something we can do over the phone, over Skype, as long as you're somewhere that's relaxed and quiet. And as you're exploring the consciousness, this is where I guide you through what is it that your soul needs to see, what is it that your soul needs to face, what is it that's coming up for healing. It's very metaphorical, it's very symbolic. Often people do meet spirit guides of different kinds. They meet angels, sometimes they meet animal spirits. All of these are helping beings from the other dimensions. And I have many people that ask me, how do I know who my guides are? How do I contact and communicate with my guides? A journey is a great way to do that. And you get to know, these are my helpers. You get a sense of, this is who wants to support me, and you make that connection with them. You also are able to metaphorically and symbolically overcome any sort of challenge that you're experiencing through these other dimensional realms.
Beautiful.
A great use of a shamanistic journey is a client that I worked with who had a mother that passed away and was experiencing a lot of grief around losing her mother in a way that was very sudden, very unexpected. And she wished she could have had more conversations with her mother before she passed away, and was feeling a lot of remorse about this situation. So we did a shamanistic journey together, and in this journey, she was able to meet with her mother in the journey in the other dimensional world, have a conversation with her soul to soul, and we were able to call in her mother's spirit, her mother's soul into the session. And she really could feel her mother's presence. It was really beautiful. And she knew, tears were streaming down her face. And she's like, yes, this is my mother. I can tell she's saying things my mother would say. This is her. And it was so healing for her because she was able to have that conversation and that closure with her mother that she was not able to have in real life. And afterwards, she was so thankful that she was able to have that experience.
Do you ever do this one-on-one, or do you do this with a group and then everybody's participating?
Yeah, a shamanistic journey can be done one-on-one, it can be done in a group, absolutely, and it can be done in person, it can be done over a distance. Really, it's just about intention and focus. Whoever wants to hold that energy space, it's about you going into the deepest layers of yourself. So the more you can let yourself relax, the better the journey goes.